I am exhausted, physically and emotionally. The former because of the work I put myself through, and the latter because specifically the work I do is about how the world is bad. So if you will permit me this week, I would like to talk about my favorite movies of 2019 in no particular order. Some of these movies had festival releases or foreign releases prior to 2019, but I'm using the US theater release dates. No, I will not be making a worst of 2019 video, and I don't have anything prepared to make a fast and dirty list in the comments. So no need to ask. Also, no need to say, well, what do you think about and you forgot because I don't want to. But you can go into the comments and say, I liked this movie and here's why. That's fine. Okay, here we go. Uncut Gems. The Safdie brothers return from their low-key triumph with Good Time to a wider triumph with Uncut Gems. Adam Sandler, one of the most recognizable comedy stars of the past 30 years, has an unrecognizable tone and gravity to his performance as he stumbles his way through a series of bets, failures, and misadventures. In a Herculean feat, Uncut Gems made me care about basketball. Not just a little, but a great deal. Everything was basketball, and I cared very deeply about the outcome of a final game. Uncut Gems is the film version of a panic attack, as its third act is so tense that it becomes both uncomfortable to watch and impossible to look away. Under the Silver Lake. David Robert Mitchell, director of It Follows, returns for a different kind of nightmare, a slacker neo-noir for the internet age. Andrew Garfield plays a nameless 30-something whose life hasn't quite started yet. He mixes himself up in an elaborate conspiracy theory so convoluted to the point that it reaches parody, but that may be the point. All knowledge is known in the internet age. The film asks, are we forced to create our own mysteries, to invent new, previously unknown knowledge? Is the conspiracy real or in our protagonist's head? The question need not, perhaps should not, be answered. Instead, the movie drifts along its dream, inviting the audience to make up its own mind about what just the heck is even going on. Under the Silver Lake has glimpses of Mulholland Drive, and while it has become trite to call a film Lynchian, this overused descriptor actually fits perfectly into any synopsis or review of this film. A Hidden Life. Terrence Malick returns for arguably his best film since The Tree of Life. His output of late, while scoring for me personally, left some critics thinking his time had passed. Not so, as A Hidden Life easily demonstrates. August Diehl plays a peasant farmer in Austria in 1939. Initially conscripted into serving the German forces, he begins to question the righteousness of his cause, but every institution from the church to the local government sides with Germany over his concerns. When he's called up for further duty, he refuses to swear the loyalty oath and is imprisoned for treason. His family suffers as well, as the locals turn on his wife and children, left behind while he's in prison. A tale of normalization of monstrous deeds and the conformity to justify them, A Hidden Life is entirely relevant for our time. Beautifully shot and scored, A Hidden Life is a rich experience for the senses. Jojo Rabbit. This is exactly the movie I needed to see in 2019. Taika Waititi spins a story about a young boy in Germany who gets caught up with the goose-stepping monsters and a very familiar imaginary friend. It has an extremely charitable picture of youngsters who take up this cause, that they are just lonely people who want to wear a uniform, but Waititi also gives the most cathartic image of the year when Jojo kicks his imaginary friend out a window and cusses him out. It's just so satisfying. Midsommar. Director Ari Aster makes movies that are easy to praise but difficult to recommend. After his simultaneously applauded but divisive Hereditary, Aster has given us the world of Midsommar, a festival for weird, isolated people who are so isolated that they don't realize how weird they are. You never know when you're in a cult, otherwise you wouldn't have joined in the first place. Stranded with these cultists are an American couple with a shaky relationship, one that is tested as they go through rituals and become manipulated by the locals. It's a tense film, a suspenseful film, and also kind of a goofy film. Not an easy combination to make work. Ad Astra. This is exactly my kind of movie. Such incredible care is put into visuals and mood. It's challenging and eschews the temperament of modern big-budget science fiction. Brad Pitt is on a doomed mission to find his lost father in the depths of space, previously thought passed away during a quest to find life on other worlds. His father's task is akin to finding God. Searching for his father in the heavens is that too. If there is nothing more, should we despair, or is that an indicator that we must make the best of life, since it's all we have? If Ad Astra has any downside, it's that some of the voiceover dialogue is both stilted and unnecessary. Not all of it, but some of it. Ad Astra suffers a bit from theatrical Blade Runner syndrome. Even so, this gorgeous adventure through space and the human condition is a few cut lines of dialogue away from a perfect film. Knives Out. Rian Johnson crafts a mystery wherein the question is not exactly who done it, but how and why, and, well, anything more is a spoiler, isn't it? Knives Out plays with genre conventions while itself being an excellent representation and example of the genre. It tackles class, wealth, topical issues like immigration and the rise of the far right among modern youth. Filled to the brim with excellent performances and quotable lines and flavor and atmosphere, Knives Out is a pitch-perfect film. Us. There sure are a lot of horror movies on this list. Well, I like horror. Want to fight about it? Jordan Peele returns with a social horror so good that it manages to match Get Out, a feat thought unlikely until its release. A seamless mixture of lots of horror and just enough comedy, and also a mixture of lots of scares and just enough political thoughtfulness, Us is both a fantastic popcorn film and an opportunity for deep dives and debate about meaning. Velvet Buzzsaw. Okay, not everyone loved this one, but I loved it all the way. Dan Gilroy, director of Nightcrawler, teams up with Jake Gyllenhaal once again, and this is Jake Gyllenhaal at his most Jake Gyllenhaal, a bizarre horror film set in the art world. Velvet Buzzsaw draws you into its world and traps you there. Unsettling, paranoid, and fully embracing its eccentricities, it deserves more praise than it received. Last but not least, Parasite, a Korean film directed by Bong Joon-ho. The critical darling director once said that while he intended to make the story about specific issues in his own home country, he found that the universality of living under capitalism was something that everyone could understand. Parasite is the story of a poor family who try to get hired by a rich family until one by one they all have employment. The trickery and confidence game they use are entertaining, but the real thrills come after they complete their mission and must now keep up the act. More and more dangerous circumstances arise and the posh house begins to reveal troubling secrets. Darkly comedic, Parasite is the perfect film for late capitalism. Tense, sad, desperate, but not entirely devoid of hope for a better future. And that's it. Those are my favorite movies of 2019. Are yours different? Probably, because we're not the same person. So there's no need to get mad about it. Tell everyone about your favorite movies in the comments. Bye for now.
Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby to get ourselves a treat.
Delicious things to eat.
The popcorn can't be beat. The sparkling drinks are just dandy.